Hello and welcome to Todd versus
BBD.
Today we're going to be playing with some Fate Reforged in Standard, and we're kind of playing a lot of the same Fate Reforged Standard cards, but the decks are quite different.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to be playing Jeskai tokens with a few updates. Let's go and take a look at the deck. To start off with, we have Jeskai Sage, which I don't know if is actually good, but it kind of looks good, you know? If your opponent is going to try to have a lot of removal spells in their deck, having an early guy with prowess that can do some beating down, but get some value if they actually end up taking care of him is actually pretty cool. So we're going to try out a couple of these, and I had to cut one Seeker of the way to make room for it since they fit on the curve of the same spot. We have 3 Seekers. 4 Monastery Mentor, which is going to be the most ridiculous card in this deck, period.
Yes, yeah.
Like, it just gets completely out of control. Half of your creature-based spells are, non-creature spells, which trigger it. And every token that you make with it also has prowess, which just gets even more complicated and convoluted with Jeskai Ascendancy, and you kill your opponent somehow.
I mean, that seems like a real easy board state to keep up with. I don't know how anyone would ever get confused about what's going on.
To make sure that we keep our Monastery Mentor alive, we're playing 2 copies of Ephemeral Shields, which I'm not sure are good. It's possible that God's Willing is just a better version of that card, but I feel like there are a lot of draws where you start off with like Raise the Alarm, and then you want to play Monastery Mentor, and you don't really have that mana left open to protect it. You know, casting Monastery Mentor on 3 and being able to protect it is a huge difference between casting it on 4 and being able to protect it, especially considering how popular things like Sylvan Caryatid and ramping into gigantic monsters is in this format. The other protection spell that doubles as a new removal spell for the deck is Valorous Stance. 2 mana to protect your Monastery Mentor or Seeker of the Way, or just kill your opponent's Siege Rhino, etc., is pretty good. And I hope that it actually ends up being good today, but I think we're going to be using it to target Brian's creatures a little more than my own, but we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think I'm going to be killing too many of your guys. So.
Yeah. It is possible that my Monastery Mentor becomes a 4/4 off its prowess, and then Brian kills it with his Valor Stance, but whatever. The rest of the deck is nothing new, really. We got Stoke the Flames, Jeskai Charm, Treasure Cruise, and the heart and soul of the deck, Jeskai Ascendancy to go crazy. Mana base, not a whole lot of updates. Basically, very similar to Shuhei's mana base from the World Championships. We got 3 Flutter Strand to go with 3 basics to get. 2 mountains, a bunch of pain lands, and other dual lands that tap for red to make sure that we can cast Hordeling Outburst on turn 3. But yeah, that's the main deck for Jeskai tokens. Let's go and take a look at the sideboard and then get to Brian's deck. Alright, so in the sideboard we have a lot of cards that can interact with control decks with 2 Negate, 3 Disdainful Stroke, and I guess even an Elspeth if we want to, but mainly Chandra Pyromaster. This card used to be in the main deck, and it might still deserve main deck inclusion, but Monastery Mentor kind of changes how you have to build your deck in playing more things to protect it. So Chandra's getting put on the bench for now. We'll see how things unfold as the format continues. In order to kind of morph into a control deck against some strategies, we have 2 copies of In Hostilities to go along with the Elspeth. A couple Glare of Heresy against Abzan aggro, opposing Jeskai Ascendancy decks, Heroic, etc. This card is very powerful as a sideboard card right now. And then 3 copies of Erase to help us out against the whip strategies that can be troublesome, namely to get rid of Doomwake Giant, since that card does put a damper on our strategy as a whole. But anyway, guys, that is the main deck and sideboard for Jeskai tokens. Let's go and take a look at Brian's deck.
Let's do it.